Hey everybody, welcome. As we're getting into this game, we're going to be spawning directly on top of LG-IM.Seed, as they're now sponsored by LG, and I used to have an LG phone, so I'm perfectly happy with that. Seed is the teal Protoss in top left, going up against Liquid.TLO, the blue Zerg in the bottom right, and I forgot to double check the Starleague color mod. Somebody in the chat, I commend you afterwards to remind me and yell at me to get the Starleague color mod on Zerglings, Banelings, and Zealots only, please. I do not want to forget that. I had that done before, but apparently when I installed .NET Frameworks, it disappeared. We also haven't seen a Baneling, and that's really only the way to truly know, or a ZVZ. But we're going to have a really nice ZVP right now, because Liquid.TLO is an amazingly awesome Zerg player on Team Liquid, the little one. He's been around since the beta. Absolutely amazing person to watch. Very entertaining. And as far as people out there go in terms of just plain interesting StarCraft-ness, TLO played random at the highest level for a long time. Then he just switched to Terran, and then he switched to Zerg. He is basically the most race-switchy yet accomplished person out there in StarCraft 2. The only other couple people that I can think of that have done similar things is LZ Gamer switched from Terran to Zerg. Maro plays TVZ instead of ZVZ, but he plays ZVP and ZVT. And there's another person that's also on that list that I'm blanking on at the moment. Did the Muslim switch from Zerg to Terran? No, the Muslim didn't. The Muslim just broke his arm and then came back to StarCraft 2. I'm not quite sure. But let's look at the fact that Seed is going for a gateway play, which is really interesting. I do believe that in the North American and European qualifiers, I believe he played there as well, and we saw him play... Oh no, it was last week's Korean qualifier that he was playing some PvZ. I remember Katz was freaking out that Seed was his favorite person ever because of the gateway play that he was doing at the start and doing a ton of stuff. But let's see what your voting is saying. Go to zanderfeverSC/vote. TLO, my god, wow, dudes are really, that's not showing any favoritism at all, making it TLO. But yeah, guys, go to zanderfever.tv/vote. Don't be swayed by Duza's just clear favoritism. He's been screaming about TLO. You know what? For Duza, this is for you. You ready? Here, I hope you make that happy. Make that happy. I hope that makes you happy. But C's got his 1 gateway out. He'll most likely go for a form of 1 gate expand, maybe a 2 gate sentry expand. But I'm curious to see how TLO is going to be responding to this, because now that he's confirmed it's a gateway expand, he may decide to skip his 3rd and go for more of a techie style stuff instead. As we see, his 6th tractor has been thrown down, as the queen is now just sitting here. Looks like there probably will be a creep tomb respond to get the creep down ASAP, as TLO is a big fan of creep spread and Zerglings. I think that's really the best way to summarize his Zerg play is creep tumors and Zerglings. He does a lot of stuff with Ling and Fester. I haven't seen him ZVP actually in too long. I've seen mostly him, for some reason, whenever I tune into his stream, it's ZVT. I don't know why, it's always ZVT or ZVZ. So I'm really not as familiar with his ZVP as I should be, but I can guarantee you it will be interesting. But right now we're just sitting out on Ohana. There is the Nexus down. We do have the 2nd gas now on the way from Seed. And Seed, I believe, took out some really strong Zerg players and had an amazing game on. I want to say Metropolis in last week's Korean qualifier that Cass and Chef were casting. They did a great job, by the way. I was having a lot of fun watching them. So that was really cool. If you guys haven't seen the VODs for the Metropolis game, at the minimum you should see that. I saw most of it, but not all of that series, but the Metropolis game was quite amazing. So, looking around here, we do have the Forge and the Gateway getting down the front, and it's really tough to pull off a Gateway opener against Zerg, as you're vulnerable to a lot of things. You're almost confined to going for a big sort of timing push before the 11-minute mark, I want to say, to put a time on it. It's just an arbitrary time. It's just to get this next point across that you can be used in a lot of situations. Probably the most dangerous one is actually Mutalisks. Because you need to get an early forge, you're going to be sacrificing a little bit of army count. While if you go for a cannon play at the start, where you forge fast expand, you have the easy ability to throw down cannons very quickly. But you're not necessarily going to be doing that as a gateway expander, and it leaves you also weaker economically, which means it's harder to get up a lot of stuff. But we are seeing Seed going for a Stargate, but this leads to a faster faster Stargate than you would if you were going for a Forge Fast expansion, because your Cybernetics core itself is so much quicker. And Seed is going to be going heavy tech right now by getting really quick double gas for a gateway expand. Usually if you're going to go for a gateway expand, you do have the double gas early on, and then you add on your third one, and then you get your fourth one, so you don't have a situation where you have only one line of 8 probes just mining from natural expansion. If you look at his main, though, he's got to be per with 16, I bet you. Yeah, he's per with 16 with 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yep, 2 on every single marrow patch. So he's literally as optimal as he can be at this point in time. TLO is starting his melee attacks and his carapace as well for his upgrades. It'll be behind the +1 attack of the Forge, but that's alright. The Void Ray is out on the field and moving out to attack, and you have a second one on the way. He may choose to get 3 Void Rays and then Phoenixes. 3 Void Rays is a very scary count. You can take out a lot of stuff with 3 Void Rays, even without the Phoenix support. But there is this one queen out in play, and unfortunately without the any Spore Crawler support, the one queen will not be able to take down a Void Ray, but it looks like Seed is aware that TLO is going to have a bunch of queens out in the field to help him defend, but it seems that TLO is actually low on the queen count. He's getting another one out at the moment, but it's going to be a little bit of time before he can really answer to the Void Ray count, but it seems that 2 is going to be what Seed will be sticking with for now. He may get a third one later on, but he's got to also be aware of his third base. If he tries to get an early third, there's a Ling there waiting to deny the probe, but to be honest, the probe would win a one-on-one fight right now when the Zerg will die to 2 shots to it. But C's got a very healthy count of sentries on the field, and he's also getting out a ton more gateways. So we're going to be in a 7-gate Void Ray push, and that kind of scares me a little bit. TLO is very Ling heavy, and Sentry Force Fields are pretty good against Lings. When you can make sure the Lings can't even touch you and they can box them in and go for that nice kind of pentagon, hexagon type of locking in play, Lings become literally worthless. But TLO has got his Infestation Pit almost done, and once he gets that, he'll be able to fungal the Sentries, and even though Sentries aren't armored, they only have 80 total health. 3 fungals is enough to kill them if you time it correctly, which is really strong. But now we have a cannon in the front. Without a robo out, it's going to be hard for C to detect. Literally, his only detection will be from the photon cannons. And he doesn't want to lose to any road shenanigans, because TLO is liable to do anything. Although he really does like his Lings. As we're seeing right now, he's actually continuing to upgrade those Lings. Right now, getting his 2-2 out. His 1-1 is completed, because otherwise we won't be able to get the 2-2. And we see that +2 and Blink are going to be done shortly for Seed. And that's kind of unfortunate for TLO, because he's going to get hit by a lot of Sentries, Stalkers, and Void Rays right now. He's got the Proxy Pylon going to be thrown down, and oh no, TLO's got to be really careful. He might be able to pick off the Pylon, though. If you get the Pylon down, that'll be huge. The Probe is going to get saved. The Pylon's going to get saved as well. Oh, look at Seed. Nice play here. If you guys, this reminds me yesterday, I'll tell you after this, but we've got the Sentries going on, the Banelings, oh yes, the Strong Team Color mod took. You've got the Fluorescent Banelings down there. Awesomeness. Okay. Fluorescent Banelings are there. We're going to see them moving around. We're going to try and get the explosion off to the Stalkers, but Force Fields are landing here, and we're having a lot of stuff just staying alive for Seed. TLO has killed a single... What? He's killed a single unit only? That is... He's killed 1 sentry. He's quite literally killed 1 sentry. 1 sentry is all TLO got to kill. Seed's push there was so strong. My god. The DPS that he has, and that is insanity. I mean, he's able to pressure TLO with the Void Rays to start with, delays a third base from TLO. TLO is going mass Lings, and the Force Fields did a ton to stop that. The upgrades for TLO were still behind. The +2 was out, so even in that sense, there were no Zealots, but even if he had built Zealots, that would have been great. TLO was trying to do a Baneling type of play, but he didn't get the gas out or that tech out in time to be able to deal with Seed being there. If he had drops, maybe, but then you gotta go into the fact that the Stalkers have Blink. They could blink back to function as if they were spreading out with like a Marine split. It's basically the same thing, but it's easier when you have Blink because it's instantaneous, and you can nullify any splash damage with that. So TLO is in a very tough spot to defend that kind of a push, and to be honest, your answer to that push is probably really quick Infestors, skipping the Banelings, or going really quick Hydra and skipping the Banelings. Ling Hydra, Ling Infestor might do a better job against that push than what TLO is doing in this particular game. But But yeah, so let's go ahead and see what the next game is going to be, because I want to see if we're going to see more gateway expanding out of Seed and what exactly TLO is going to be doing.